In this video, we will discuss about how do we apply the rate of change or the derivative in our daily life, in the real life problems. Okay, this is basically the application of the derivative. Okay, so do you remember that the chain rule says that if the top and bottom they don't match, the base don't match, then we'll have to do times the prime of the top, right? So but if they match, it is what is the derivative of x squared with respect to x? So dx squared over dx, they match, so it is n x n minus 1, right? So it is basically 2x, you see that? But if you do with respect to t, then they don't match. So what do? 2x to the 2 minus 1 times dx over dt. You still keep that, right? Because they don't match. Okay, so what is the final answer then? 2x times, you can write x prime or you can keep dx over dt. It's just the notation. So how about here? They don't match, right? So what is the derivative of sine x? Is cosine of x times and then x prime, or you can keep dx over dt. So x prime or x dot, you can whatever notation you want to give, but you need that derivative term again. You need to put that extra derivative term if they don't match. Okay, so let us see some examples here. So let y equals to 4x squared plus root x. Find dy over dt. See, you will need to differentiate with respect to t. If dx over dt is 1 and x equals to 4, let us do this problem. So how do I find out dy over dt? Is basically you need to find out d over dt. For 4x squared, you need to find the derivative with respect to t for 4x squared and then plus d over dt. And then this is x to the 1/2, right? Root x is basically x to the 1/2. So for here, that 4 will come out, so it will be 4 and then dx squared over dt, right? Plus, what is the derivative? See, you see that it is x to the n, but there is no x in the denominator. So what you do is you need the power rule. You use the power rule. So 1/2 x to the 1/2 minus 1 times, and then you need to do dx over dt, right? Because they don't match. That's the chain rule basically. And similar thing here, it will be 4 times 2x times dx over dt, right? Plus it is 1/2, and then what is that? That is x to the negative 1/2, right? X to the negative 1/2 and then times dx over dt. Okay, so let us simplify that and plug in the value of x and 1. You will get 4 times 2 times 1 x is 4, right? 4 times 2 times 4 times dx over dt is 1, and then plus you write, what is that? 1/2, right? X to the 1/2 is equals to the denominator with x to the positive 1/2, because there is negative on the top. You move that to the bottom with positive 1/2, which is root x, right? Root under x is 4. So 1 over 2 times root under 4. And then times dx over dt is again 1. So if you simplify that, what is that? It is 4 times 2 is 8 times 4 is 32 plus 1 over 2 times root under 4 is 2. So 2 times 2 is 1/4, right? So 32 plus 1/4. Basically 32 plus 1/4, right? If you simplify that, what do you get? You will get 32 times 4 is 128, right? So 128 plus 1 is 1. Basically you will get 129 over 4. That is the final answer. That's what you get. Okay, so basically here you will have, your question will have y equals to some function of x, but you will have to find the derivative with respect to t, meaning that you will have dy over dt or dx over dt, both term involved, and you will finding out one and the other will be given to you. Okay, let us do this problem. From this equation, x cubed plus y cubed equals to 8, find dy over dt if x equals to 9, y equals to 12, and dx over dt is 5. Let's do that. So let us find the derivative. Okay, so if you differentiate, you will get dx cubed over dt plus dy cubed over dt equals to d8 over dt, right? I'm differentiating with respect to t, but this will be 0, right? You see that this term is basically 0. Okay, so so what do you do on the left? Because they don't match, it will be 3x squared times dx over dt, right, plus 3y squared times dy over dt equals to 0. You see that? So you need to plug in dx over dt and then x and y and then solve for dy over dt. What does this implies? 3 times 9 squared times 5. You see that? 3x squared and dx over dt, all those values, plus 3 times 12 squared times dy over dt equals to 0. Our goal is to solve for dy over dt, right? So how much is that? We use calculator to find out that. So 3 times 9 squared times 5 will be 3 times 9 squared times 5 is basically 1215. So this is 1215 plus 3 times 12 square will be 3 times 12 square is 432. 432 and then dy over dt. So you subtract that, right? You subtract 1215. So so there is equals to 0 as well, right? So I subtract 12 over 15 there too. Subtract 1215. What do you get? Basically you get dy over dt. Also we'll have to divide by 432. Let me write down 432 for now. This implies 432 dy over dt equals negative 1215, right? And divide by 432. What do you get? If you divide by 432, so divide by 432 and then divide by 432, right? If you do that, then you get dy over dt equals to, so dy over dt. So let me write that. So basically dy over dt is equals to negative 1215 over 432. That is negative 1215 divided by 432. Okay, and then it is the fractional form for this is basically 45 over 16. 45 over 16. So this is the final answer here. Okay, this is the final answer for this problem. All right. So similarly, you want to find out dx over dt from this question. Okay, dx over dt, if x is 12 and y equals 9, dy over dt is given as 4. Let's do the same thing. So if you differentiate, what do you get? Dx cubed over dt plus dy cubed over dt, right, equals to d8 over dt. Exactly the same thing, right? But this thing is basically 0, right? Because the constant, the derivative of the constant is 0. So what do we do then? So basically we do find the derivative of the x cubed with respect to t will be 3x squared times dx over dt, right, plus 3y squared times dy over dt equals to 0. Now we plug in the values of x and y. Okay, so what is the value of x? 3 times x is 12 square and there is dx over dt. You need to find out that, plus 3 times 9 square and dy over dt is how much? 4, right, equals to 0. So you simplify this and solve for dx over dt. What do you get? So let me find out how much is 3 times 9 squared times 4. 3 times 9 squared times 4 is basically 972. So this will be plus 972, and 3 times 12 square we found out that already, right, 1215. So 1215 times dx over dt, right, equals to 972 plus 972 equals to 0. Now what we do next is subtract 972 on both sides, minus 972, and then we'll have to divide by 1215. You see that? So that will implies, so you get 1215 dx over dt equals to negative 972, right? And then divide by 1215. What do you get? 1215 and divide by 1215. You get dy over dt equals to negative 972 over 1215. Let me use calculator to find out that. Okay, 12 15 is equals to 4/5, I guess. Okay, so that is 4/5. That's, oh, by the way, there is negative 4/5 because there is negative sign, negative 4/5. And then I think I forgot that negative sign here too, right? So this is negative 45/16. So for the previous problem, it should be negative 45/16. That is the answer. And here it is negative 4/5. Sometimes the website asks you to write the decimal, sometimes the fraction. I prefer fraction, that's fine. If you write the decimal, that's fine too, okay? But on the website, you should follow what the question asks. All right, guys. So let us see this word problem. What it says is the radius of a circle is increasing at the rate of 9 centimeters per minute. So it is increasing, so the rate is positive, right? So let me write this way. So the rate of the change of the radius, let's denote that r is the radius there. So dr over dt is given as 9. Why dr over dt? It is the rate of change of the radius with respect to time. That's what we write dr over dt. The rate of change is the derivative, right? And then rate of change is derivative. So this is the rate of change of the radius. That's why I denote radius by r. So dr over dt is positive 9. Why? It is increasing. That's why. Since it is increasing, we write positive. If it is decreasing, we write negative. And what is asked? Find the rate at which the area is increasing. So it is asked dA over dt equals to what? That is asked. Okay, what rate the area is increasing. So what is the formula for the area of a circle? So it is A equals to pi r square, right? So pi is a constant. So what is dA over dt then? Oh, by the way, I think that this question is not complete. Find the rate at which area is increasing when r equals to 5. Okay, so we need r value as well. All right, guys. So let us do this. So dA over dt equals to pi and then dr square over dt, which is same as pi and then 2r. The derivative of r square is 2r, but they don't match, so you need dr over dt as well. Now therefore dA over dt is equals to pi is there, 2 is there. What is r? R is 5 and then dr over dt is 9, right? What do you get? So 9 times 5 is 45 times 2 is 90 pi, right? 90 pi. That is the answer. Okay, let us see another example here. So basically in the word problem, you need to first write what is given and what is asked. That is very important. And after you know that, after you write down those, and then you need to know what is the area. It is talking about the area, so you need to know the formula for the area. Okay, so and then just you use the exactly same techniques we did in the previous examples. All right, so let us do this example. A spherical balloon, meaning it's a sphere, right, is inflated at a rate of 700 centimeter cubed per minute. It is the volume is increasing. When the balloon is inflated, the volume inside the balloon, the volume is increasing. So let us denote the volume by V. Okay, so what is given is dV over dt is given as 700 centimeter cubed per minute. Okay, find the rate of change of the radius. What is asked? dr over dt equals to what? That is asked. Okay, so find the rate of change of the radius when r is also given as r equals to 20 centimeter. So for this problem, you need to know what is the volume formula for the sphere. So the volume of the sphere is given by, what is the formula for the volume? V is, I think it is 4/3 pi r cubed, right? So we use that and then find the derivative. So what do you get from here? So dV over dt will be 4/3 pi times dr cubed over dt. I'm finding the derivative of this on both sides. Okay, let me use another color for this. So dV over dt is given as 700, right? So write down 700 equals to 4/3 pi. What is the derivative of r cubed with respect to t? They don't match, so it will be 3r squared times dr over dt. You see that? So what is r? So let me write down here. So 700 equals to 4, so this 3 and 3 will cancel out. You see that this 3 divided 3 will cancel out. What is left is 4 times pi r square. R is 20, right? So 20 square times 4, it will be 4. So let me use, so it will be 4 times 20 square times, this is 20, okay, dr over dt. You need to solve for dr over dt, meaning that you need to divide by 4 times 20 square pi. Okay, there is pi also, I am sorry about that. So 4 times pi times 20 square, divide by that. Let me divide by 4 times pi times 20 square. 4 times pi times 20 square. So what do you get? You will get, so 4 times pi times 20 square. So 20 square is basically 400, right? 400 times 400 is 1600, right? So basically you will get this. You will basically get 700 over 1600 pi equals to dr over dt. dr over dt. So what is dr over dt then? You divide by 100 on top and bottom. What do you get? That 2 zeros and 2 zeros will cancel out. So dr over dt is basically, what do you get there? Is 7 over 16 pi. So 7 over 16 pi equals to dr over dt, which is the final answer for this problem. Okay, that is the rate of change of the radius is 7 over 16 pi. So the next thing we do is we do a couple more examples. Okay guys.